This episode of Tech Weekly is brought to you by Audible.com, the internet's largest and leading provider of digital audiobooks and audio content. For your free 30-day trial, visit audiblepodcast.com/pbcasttv. As you can see, Jacob's walking around the CES floor while I'm sitting here back in the PBcast TV studio jamming out. Hey Carlo, how's it going? Jacob, how are you today?
Pretty good.
So as you can see, there is a little bit of a delay in the video, and Jacob can't hear me exactly, but it's just a miracle that he's streaming right now because, there's so many geeks in one place, and we kind of talked about this before Jacob went to CES, that it was going to be really hard for us to bring you coverage because of the sheer number of people and how weak the signals were going to be. So, Jeff, there's been a lot of problems with 3G, definitely, right? You've had a lot of problems.
Yeah, and I've had some problems with my 4G. And all that stuff.
Yeah. Sounds like Jacob's been partying a little too hard. Sounds like you're losing your voice a little bit, aren't you?
No, that's just my element. It's like
Okay. I wish I could see this because Jacob is walking around the show floor with his laptop in hand, with his live cam on top of his netbook, and he's walking around just holding it and streaming live. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of weird looks.
Oh, well, but the people at CES, you really don't know what you're going to see at CES. So, Jeb, you been having fun?
Oh, yeah, I got a lot of cool stuff.
Sweet.
Seen a lot of cool things.
So first off, I want to talk about some of the pictures that you've been sending out, because if you're not following Jacob on twitter.com/freakinghuge, he's been kind of photo blogging, I guess you could say. He's been taking a lot of pictures with his camera and things and sending them out. You've met a lot of cool people, including Leo, which we talked about on Net at Night. And then I just noticed that you were right next to Lady Gaga as well, weren't you?
Yeah, they did Tiffin had like a little drawing, like a raffle drawing, and then they were like, "Here comes Lady Gaga."
That's great. And here's a picture. Let me bring up.
Oh, okay.
There's the picture.
I got a video, but I haven't been able to upload it to YouTube.
Okay. And of course, when Jacob gets all of this, whenever he has videos and things, we will post them on pbcasttv.com and also youtube.com/pbcasttv. Now, Jacob, you showed off the Samsung booth as well. That thing was huge this year, and yeah, and one of the things that Samsung is pushing is being in every room of your house. So they've already got your living room, they've already got your maybe your computer room or something like that. They've got you on their cell phone, but they want to be everywhere. So they have internet-capable devices such as small tablets that can sit in your bedroom and things like that. And also they're pushing a brand new line of TVs that are more advanced in 3D technology, and I believe that they're slimmer as well, and they have like a really thin bezel, right? So Jep, can you hear me? Alright, so I think Jeb's gonna be hit and miss, but anyway. And another story that came out this week is that Verizon seems like Verizon's gonna be getting the iPhone pretty soon. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Verizon will be getting the iPhone at the end of January. A lot of people were saying January 17th they're going to have a press conference, and that actually came out at the press conference that Verizon held, and it was kind of odd because that was not their headline event, I guess you could say. They actually kind of waited a few days to announce it, so that was kind of odd. And that's something that I'm not sure many predicted that would come out of CES. Also, there's a lot of honeycomb tablets, Windows 7, and all the rest, and we've kind of branded this as 2011, the CES for tablet devices. Jeb, have you been able to see any cool, like, new tablets? I know that you saw the Icona. Was it the Acer Icona?
Yeah, I think that's by the majority here. It's tablets. I mean, it's just tons and tons of little Android tablets and just everything. It's really crazy out here.
Yeah. And the Icona tablet that Jacob, I think you put a picture up. It's running Android 3.0. It's got a 10.1-inch touchscreen, Tegra 2, Verizon LTE, and dual cameras. It's going to be available in April. I think, Jacob, you also showed the Asus ePad slider. That's also running Android 3.0. The Dell Streak 10, the 10-inch tablet running Android. The Dell Streak 7, running Android 2.2. That's a 2-inch. Most of these, Jacob, are Tegra 2 processors. And also, AT&T had a new phone. I think they're calling it the Atrix. And that was the one that you can dock inside of the netbook. And it was a dual processor phone. Have you seen that?
Yeah. They had one that was like a screen that you could flip and you had to dock into like a keyboard thing and from the laptop and undock it and the tablet.
That's cool. Let's see what else. I mean, I'll link to this Engadget post. We're not actually going to have any show notes this week because we're just kind of talking to Jacob and things that he thinks is cool. But if you look on Engadget.com, they actually have their featured tablets at CES, and you can just scroll forever. There's so many tablets ranging from Acer to Logitech to AOC to Asus to BlackBerry to Dell to Fujitsu, Lenovo, Motion Computing, Motorola. They had the new Zoom, which is spelled XOOM. It's running Android 3.0. It's got Tegra 2 LTE, dual cameras, and the rear shoots 720p. And they're saying Q1 and 4G in Q2. So that's interesting. And I think one of the things that we're seeing a lot with these newer tablets this year is they're going to be shipping pretty soon, right, Jacob? I don't know if you've been able to hear of any ship dates, but I've got them in front of me, and it looks like that some of these devices are going to be shipping in Q1 or Q2 of this year. Another thing is we have the I was very impressed by this. It's the Samsung sliding PC 7 series, and what it does, it's kind of like a sliding, how a mobile phone would slide. It's got a slide out keyboard, and it runs Windows 7, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it seems that a lot more people have got on their tablet bandwagon. A lot more tablets do help.
Right. And I'm showing off the Samsung tablet that we were talking about just now. It's got the slide-out keyboard, which is pretty cool. I was interested in this. I probably won't get one because it's Windows 7, and I'm not too keen on Windows 7 tablets. But it looks like they've got that new OS they've been talking about, maybe some Samsung deal on there. Of course, a capacitive screen as well. Yeah, dude, Carlos saying that he's just drooling in the chat room. I really like the Zoom. I think that's something that I may be interested in. And maybe before the iPad 2 comes out, which is still rumored, but maybe before it comes out, I may actually try to sell it and get me an Android tablet because I love Android. And very interested in it. Let's keep going down through here,
They had
Jay.
a lot of cool TVs.
A lot of cool TVs. So,
And, a lot of Google TVs.
oh, Google TVs.
Yeah, they had. I can't tell you how many screens I've seen. Big 42-inch LCD screens where people have been playing Angry Birds and stuff on it with a mouse. That
Huh.
was pretty interesting.
So how were they playing Angry Birds on like a PC or something, or what?
It was a Android-based like net top that goes on your TV, mouse input and everything.
Huh. That's cool. And Jay, it seems like your connection has gotten a lot better since you've walked where you are. So.
I'll just stand right here then.
Okay, because I mean you were lagging a lot, but now I can. I mean it's almost like you're at home, really.
All right.
So, Panasonic had some. I assume that they had some new TVs, but also they had a new tablet, the Viera tablet to go along with their Viera, whatchamacallit. And feel free to move around if you have to, but I was just telling you that your thing got better. So what else? I know that we know a lot about these newer devices that Engadget and things is talking about, but have you seen anything cool that you just thought was like interesting and off the wall, maybe that a lot of people may not be covering? Okay. While Jacob's internet connection catches up here. T-Pain was at CES as well. The Tech Buzz actually was able to interview him or kind of get him on camera. I don't really know if you would call that an interview or not, but he has a new plug-and-play microphone that makes you I am T-Pain, auto-tunes you. There's a lot of new celebrities that are getting into things in the technology world, including, Dr. Dre with his Beats by Dre. Windows Phone 7 is using a lot of 3D UI idle, even on Wi-Fi. That's something that just came out.
So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, you went through a dead spot there or something.
Oh, okay.
But you're back now.
Like I was saying, what's the iPhone case? Incepto or
Oh, Incipio.
but they Incipio. They have a free 20 case that you can do here at the show. That was pretty interesting.
That's cool. I'm also seeing a lot of new.
You download an app.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
What you do is you download an app for your iPhone, and then you go and customize the skin for the iPhone however you want it. And there later on in the day and pick the case. So.
Huh, that's cool. So some customization going on there. That is pretty cool.
Yeah, and they're free too, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, they're free. That's awesome.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's a big deal. Then, once again, like I said before, Jacob's joining us from the show floor. So he's actually found a pretty good internet connection right now. Before he got here, it wasn't that great, but.
I'm actually standing in someone's empty booth.
That's cool. So, Jacob, I've also been seeing a lot of 3D cameras. Have you seen the new 3D cameras?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a ton of them out here. There's, Sony has a handheld 3D camera.
I think Panasonic got a couple video cameras or adapters that you can use.
It's like a little digital camera, basically.
Yeah.
Consumer video camera camcorders that have 3D capabilities. It's really cool stuff. Kodak has a camera that Kodak has a printer that will print 3D images that require like a red blue glasses or something like that. That's pretty sweet. So there's a lot of 3D stuff going on. There's a handful of TVs out here now that are 3D TVs that don't require glasses. That's pretty cool.
Huh. I was gonna ask you about this earlier, but have you seen any new, like, I knew they were gonna come out with some controllers. I know this is completely off subject, but have you seen any new things in, like, I know Nvidia launched their new GPUs, the 4900 series or something like that, at
Yeah.
CES, and also have you seen any like new SSD technologies, or is it have or
Oh yeah, they have a ton of SSD stuff here. They got I know in who is it? I want to say it's SanDisk or somebody is boasting their 250 or 520 gigabyte solid state drive. Um, that's the biggest I've seen so far, um, and it's SATA. You can switch it straight out with your SATA drive, and it don't know the difference. Uses substantially less power, extremely faster transfer rates. I think it's something at like 130 gigabytes a second or something stupid.
jeez.
Um, it's pretty awesome. They're coming out with some pretty sweet technology on that stuff.
Also, have you seen anything about USB 3.0? I think this might be a point where we would see people actually shipping it inside of, Dell maybe adopting 3.0 or whatever.
Yeah, I saw who was it? No, I can't remember their names, but someone had some USB 3.0. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But you know, it's I haven't really seen very much of the USB 3.0 around here. I haven't really been seeing people push it very much.
Okay.
It's still trying to get its roots in the industry. So.
All right. Let's see what else. I'm looking at some. AMD came out with their new chipset, the Fusion chipset, which is very interesting. It's kind of a competitor to the Intel Atom, as I recall. It's boasting like 8 to 10 hour battery life while having like the small, the thinnest computer possible, which is pretty cool. And
Yeah.
And Intel also came out with a new chip that doesn't require a fan. So it's kind of an integrated chipset like they're using, like the iPad uses, but it's like a 2 gigahertz chipset or something that they may start using in netbooks, I think they said.
And I did see that Intel had their i5 processor that has the integrated graphics and everything.
Yeah.
They had a demo going on where they were rendering graphics and everything in real time, doing a lot of math computing and everything on one single chip. Real time data, like billions of points. So it was pretty interesting to see that.
I know last year that it was kind of a lot about OLED. Have you seen any new things on the OLED front in TVs? Like, have you seen them?
Yeah, Samsung has a handful of OLED smartphones.
Oh, that's cool.
They're Android based. They're I don't know if they're actually have smartphones themselves. I think they're actually boasting a smartphone, but it's very interesting. It's they're very very bright, crisp, a lot thinner than your normal phones, and really really good looking screens. I mean, at first I thought they were fake for a second, and then you could actually go up there and move them around, and they look that good. So
that's cool. Let's see. I'm just skimming through these. Let's talk about what was I gonna say? What was I looking at? Oh, Verizon LTE and AT&T also. If I'm right, AT&T showed off their 4G as well, which is gonna get upwards of 50 megabits down, and I'm assuming that Verizon is kind of like that as well. Did you get to see any speed tests or anything, or?
I didn't see any speed tests with AT&T. I haven't even actually seen AT&T here. They might be hiding around somewhere. But I did see Verizon, of course, because Verizon has the biggest booth here. it's a pretty massive booth they have. But they um, um, you know it they have some pretty decent technology. Uh, they went in there and um, they have their what was it? They were boasting something. I don't know. I haven't really spent too much time in the Verizon booth, but I know they had some like little obvious examples of their.
Cool. I'm looking on here that this is just something kind of funny, but they actually Red debuted their Scarlet camera at CES. I know we've talked about Red before. They've got the 4K cameras, which are just amazing quality. They debuted their Scarlet, which is the next. They're actually their lowest end camera, but you know when we say lowest end, Jacob, you know we know what that means. That means about $22,000 for a Red camera, but you know.
Yeah.
You sent me an email from B&H that was talking about some new Canon cameras, and they kind of came out with some cameras that kind of are on the higher end consumer front to low end prosumer, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Those were really nice.
Yeah. They haven't seen them at the show. I haven't really looked, but I imagine they got a couple out here at the show. But they have really interesting technology. Uh, 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 dual SD card slots. Got a hard drive in it. It's not tape, so you just go and record, and
That's cool.
people are able to this seamless relay that will automatically switch to different SD cards when you're recording, so you won't, lose a clip or anything like that. It won't pop up saying full. It'll switch over to the next one. You can also set them up in a like a RAID 1 array. And one SD card mirrors the other one, just so you have that much more redundancy. It's pretty interesting to see some of the stuff they have going on. The higher end one that I showed you, there's two there. The higher end one has XLR, two XLR input. It also has infrared LED, flood LED to light up its infrared mode. It's pretty cool. But there's a lot of neat things that those cameras can do.
I was watching the Microsoft announcement. I know we're just skipping over things, but anyway, there's just so much stuff to cover that we're just gonna try to hit on things for about 30 or 45 minutes here. Samsung and Microsoft teamed up to make the second version of the Surface, and the Surface used to use technologies. It used to use like two cameras under it, and that's why it had to have such a big box. Now they have a dual-core CPU, and it's about 4 inches thick. The whole device is, and it only cost. I mean, compared to what the Surface did cost, it now only costs $8,000, which is more than I think the other ones were like 30 or 40,000 a while back. Have you been able to play with one of these? These things look awesome. I mean, they're using a new. It uses a capacitive screen now, and it was using a resistive touch screen. Have you been able to like play it or see it or anything? I can't talk. Sorry.
Microsoft tables, but 3M actually has some tables that they were showcasing. They have they don't have the ability to set things down and interact with them, but they had some pretty interesting multi-touch screens, and they had some really neat demos to be able to show off their capabilities. Like one was you could play a Warcraft type game and run around and like a multi whatever you call it game, and you use the multi-touch input. You can control stuff. It was pretty cool. They also had a computer running 5 LCD screens that were multi-touch, and they're on a slope, and they even had gravity associated with them. So when you threw something down the screen, when it went to the slope, it would actually move a little faster and fall down the slope like it was, you know,
Yeah.
an actual slope. That was pretty. Microsoft, they have a handful of booths that you can play with their Kinect stuff. I thought that was pretty interesting. You can just walk up in there, and two people get up in there and just play the Kinect, and they have about 5 or 6 of those booths. Pretty cool stuff.
Also, I know, like I said, we're just jumping around, but Jacob, you showed off Angry Birds on a PC. Intel came out with that in their new App Store for netbooks, I think it's called. And we're seeing a lot of the newer mobile games that were not originally, like Plants vs. Zombies was originally on the PC and then just ported to iOS and Android. But we're seeing a lot of mobile games that are kind of developing and coming on to the PC side of things, which is kind of the opposite of what you would normally think. How did Angry Birds play on a PC? I'm very interested to see how that was with a mouse.
You actually have a hand. It's like a little, like a little grabby hand that is the mouse. And when you click down, it closes so you can see when it's grabbing or not. And you actually just go in there and just grab the bird and just pull back and let it go, and works just like the game does. You click to throw this stuff around, and that's pretty much the only other difference. I don't know if they have added any kind of combat mode or anything like that yet. I think you just got the main. It's a very straightforward port from the different systems to the PC.
Okay. Sony also announced that they will be porting it to PS. It's on PS3 now, which is cool. Jacob, I know you got to spend some time at the Nissan booth. Did they kind of have anything new, or was it just kind of showing off the Leaf again, on the electric car front there?
From what I understand, all they really have is they're still because they're not showing any other electric cars yet. They have regular gas.
Okay, gotcha. Do I? Okay. Let's see. I'm looking at some other things here. I'm looking at some other things here. There's some cool iOS device charging mounts that came out. I guess you were talking about Incipio being there. I understand that there was a lot of different people there who were.
Oh yeah, they they have a case that it has the iPhone plug, of course, at the bottom of it. You put the case over the iPhone, and it completely encompasses the iPhone itself. It's like a external, like, hard protection case, but it has a battery also. So you have a secondary battery, and it has a standard USB charger plug in. And what they say you do is keep it on all the time, which is kind of no, you do keep it on all the time. It has a switch. That's right. So when your iPhone battery starts running down, and you're good for about a charge. So it's got a 1500 milliamp battery. Yeah. Pretty decent battery for for an iPhone.
Also, Jep, some other things wait, what was that I was looking at? Oh, I know what it was. So Skype announced something that we weren't expecting at all, that they had bought Quick for $100 million. and they've actually brought Skype video calling now over 3G to iOS and I believe Android too. I'm not quite sure about Android, but they have brought it to iOS, which is interesting. And I actually did not think that they would be buying Quick, because I didn't realize that Quick was up, going up for sale or whatever.
Well, no. Oh. The reason why, or not Quick, you got it in Android now. Quick is, so I guess they just wanted that to be able to have that, domination over the market. To hit on that, someone else can come in behind them and get in that network as is. So.
There's also some cool developments, like J-Up said. There's a lot more Google TVs being on the show floor. Also, I'm looking at it, and Boxy has released a new iPad app that allows you to control, the Boxy interface via your iPad. Also, J-Up, I noticed that the Vizio tablet and the phone both have IR blasters in it, so you can use your phone without a Wi-Fi connection simply as your remote, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah. I also saw the D-Link booth. They had a new antenna amplifier that it's a dynamic directional antenna. You basically go in there and set the antenna up on your network by hooking up to the computer first, and then you go take it off. It looks like a coffee grinder. It's it's about as tall as my head, and you basically just go in there and tell it where in the house it is and stuff. And what it does is it gets a signal, and it's smart. It knows where you're wanting to go in the house. So say you have a computer in your bedroom that's up on the top floor, and you're on the bottom floor of the house on the other corner of the house. Well, when you're trying to get to it, it goes up to that wireless amplifier and broadcasting, which that's how pretty much every in-home wireless system works. It actually does a directional broadcast, and it's smart enough to actually aim that directional beam where it's trying to broadcast it. So you get a much higher throughput, faster data transmissions, and a lot better quality.
Huh. Also, Jet, we're seeing a lot of. I know Dell has started to build in their Alienware M17X. They're going to start building in 3D displays onto the laptops. So they're kind of pushing 3D gaming more with the NVIDIA chipsets. And I think you hit on it in the beginning. Intel announced their system on a chips that have the full graphics processing on the same chip, and it's actually smaller than a Core i3 chip, the current Core i3 chip, and it has both the CPU and the GPU on it, and they're touting very high, they're talking really highly about it, and the speeds are just amazing for a system on a chip like that.
Yeah.
Also, we're seeing a lot of new, like I said, dual processor phones. Also, ARM, or not ARM. What's it called? Also, we're seeing LG has come out with a couple. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What?
Oh no, I was just. What were we talking about? Sorry, we kind of lost you there for a second.
I said that they were demoing the i5 processor that has the integrated GPU, and the GPU itself is no bigger than the tip of my finger. She had one. It's of course like a millimeter thick. Really small processor for what all it can do. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Samsung and Verizon are actually touting that they're going to have a gaming system where you can play Rock Band, four-way Rock Band over 4G, which is kind of interesting. And they're touting LTE is going to really bring gaming fully mobile. So whether you want to use a 4G wireless router or you want to use a card like Jacob's using, it's just really cool what they're doing with 4G and the LTE things that they have there. Let's see what else here. I'm looking at some things here. Jeb, do you have any other cool things that we haven't really talked about yet that you'd like to discuss?
I never saw any of the Ford electric cars.
Yeah.
I think it's 10. They had a little thing set up there, but I didn't really go there and check it out. They had some they're put off 2012 cars and all that stuff. Ford Focuses and Fusions and stuff. Those are pretty cool.
Also, I believe Audi was at CES as well. They had a new hybrid, the e-tron Spider, that I just saw here.
Yeah, they pretty impressive booth. It was basically like everybody's walking in there. I couldn't even stand in there. It was just way too bright. But they had some hard concepts and stuff that they were about to come out with. So.
Let's see what else. There was. Did you see any? Did you see any new TVs that actually didn't allow you, or you didn't have to wear? Did they improve any on the 3D without the glasses? I mean, is there any new?
Yeah, they had a couple. There was actually surprisingly there was a couple like just out of the blue, like people that were just doing. To look at it, make your eyes kind of water. It looked like they were doing some kind of Fresnel lens with TV. You could really see it when you're on the side of it. It kind of looked kind of weird, but it was so you had to stand. I think it was 8 feet from it, and it looked 3D. It was okay. I don't think. The technology is ready for glassless 3D, things. I think that'll probably be next year or something. They're just sort of hitting at it right now. It was Samsung did. They were able to go and fix the. Like when you're watching some 3D movies, you have ghosting.
Yeah.
Where some of the 3D stuff doesn't mix right. They don't line up and sort of have like a haze. Well, they an engine that is able to fix that. They were showing this powder coating, and it takes away all the ghosting. It actually looks 3D when you're looking at it with the glasses. It doesn't have that weird flashy look to it like some of the stuff does.
Huh. Also, Jeb, I'm looking at this. Pogo Plug announced their new Pogo Plug Video, which allows you to convert footage on the fly, which means that you could watch things that are on your local network, but you could be anywhere over 3G or 4G, and your phone wouldn't have to do any of the converting. It's all up converted or down converted at your house. So the Pogo Plug is more like a server now. And it works with AVC HD, AVIs, all of the real multimedia-centered video files that you would be using, WMVs, MP4s, really anything that you could think of. That's pretty cool. I saw that on there. I'm looking here. Did you notice any things about batteries? I know a lot of people were talking about a lot of new battery technologies that they're touting. I know that Samsung.
I haven't really seen.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I haven't really seen any new battery stuff yet. They're like they're which well,
Yeah. Also, like we said, Ford was there. I believe, like we said, Audi was there. Um, Nissan was there. There's a lot of companies, such as motor companies, that are getting on the CES bandwagon. And Alan Mulally, the Ford CEO, actually said that they have seen a number of interesting statistics that they believe have come from people who have seen their future products at CES and actually bought Ford because of them. They also showed off their new version of the sync software, the My Ford Touch, which we kind of saw a glimpse of how that would be last year. And they also announced that they would be building it into all of their car models now. There were a few models that weren't, that were lacking it, but that's pretty cool. That stuff is pretty interesting. It can read text messages on the fly. It of course is a GPS. It's got all kinds of cool things, as well. Let's see. I'm looking at some other things here. Looks like that they announced a new Tesla S, which is kind of a mid-sized car, I guess. I'm not quite sure how to. Have you seen the new Tesla that they announced there?
they actually have it. It's going to be a sedan. I think they said it's going to run about like in the $30,000. You're not limited to just one range with the cars. They have a bunch of different ranges. It goes from as small as 100 miles to up to 300, and that increases the price of your car, of course. But I think the 3 miles was to be available for I think $4,000, and so it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, and also we saw some new HD webcams that they're actually saying, yeah, this is full quality 720p and 1080p. Some from Face Vision and also some from Logitech, which is pretty cool. Let's see what else. There's also a couple new dual screen tablets. One from NEC, my bad, and also one from Acer. They're showing off a new dual screen tablet. I'm just looking at some websites here. It's kind of been leaked that the iPad 2 will be coming out because. Do what?
I said I got my Foursquare badge.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. You also got the Super Swarm. You got like the Super Swarm, the Super Duper Swarm, and like the Swarm badge. All kinds of cool stuff. That was crazy.
Once for anybody that's watching this at CES, once you do get your CES Foursquare badge, you can go to Samsung, Intel, the Sharp, video radio gets some extra prizes.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Give away for people that have CES badges. For school. And you actually get
All right, Jake. One other thing before we wrap up the show here, I was looking at this, and it said I'm reading here that GM has invested $5 million in PowerMat, and they're saying that wireless charging is headed to the Volt in 2012. Did GM have any new hybrid technologies or new electric cars that you were aware of?
I think they were showing their Volt again. I didn't really go look at it just because of, it's a hybrid. I didn't really care. But I think they might have improved on it a little bit. I didn't really look into it very much. So I don't really know.
All right. Jeb, I think we're going to wrap up the show here, just so you can get back to doing whatever you would want to, because I know you're probably getting tired and walking around there. Jacob is joining us from the show floor at CES 2011 in Las Vegas. Jacob has been gracious enough to film a couple videos for us while he's there. And also, you can follow him on Twitter, twitter.com/freakinghuge, FREAKINHUGE. You can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/thatnickjones. And you can also check out all of our content at pbcasttv.com. And look for the tag PB at CES. That's how we're branding all of our shows that are done at CES, and also any of the videos that Jacob puts on YouTube. So that's cool. Make sure to follow twitter.com/pbcasttv to know when we go live and everything. That way, that's the easiest way to figure out when we do things like we're doing now. Jacob, will you be able, I don't know if, are you going to be able to do Gadget Gurus on Monday, considering that, aren't you coming home on Monday?
No, I'm coming home on Sunday.
Oh, okay. Alright, so we should be able to do Gadget Gurus if possible, and Gadget Gurus will kind of be kind of like we did just now, but, Jacob will have more time that we can just sit down and talk about some interesting things that he thought was interesting and things, but, Jacob, I thank you for joining us from the show floor. I know you've been just walking around now for almost an hour or more.
Actually, I stopped for a little bit, but yeah, I started walking around again because my feet started getting, in the spot.
All right, and so guys, thanks for joining us on this episode of Tech Weekly. I don't know what I'm doing. This is episode 32, of course. This will be on our website tonight at pbcasttv.com. So until next time, guys, I'll see if Joe can get this. I know it's on a lag, but until next time, guys, I'm Nick Jones.
Jacob Roberts.
And you're watching PBcast TV from CES. See you guys.